Hello and welcome to my third Vegetarian Week challenge here in Kazakhstan. Last week it was focusing on specialty items that are a bit more difficult to find in Kazakhstan, but you can. And this week we're focusing on Central Asian food turned vegetarian. So first I want to say I was thinking about doing just a Kazakh food changed vegetarian, but I think that several things that are common in Kazakh cuisine are actually found throughout Central Asia. So I widened my perspective to Central Asian food turned vegetarian. I would like to state that Central Asian food is heavily meat-based, and traditionally here in Kazakhstan people were nomads and they subsisted a lot off of meat. And I don't mean to insult Central Asian cuisine or Kazakh food or any other nation's food in Central Asia. I just want to see if I can keep that idea and make it edible for me as a vegetarian. But I also encourage you to look up the original recipes or some information about Central Asian food so that you can see what the original source is like. And if you eat meat, you can try out some of those recipes yourself. But for this video, we're trying to make it vegetarian. And like my previous two videos, I have another guest. This time it is a Kazakh man living in a different city as well. His name is Ilyas, and why don't we have him introduce himself?
My name is Ilyas. I'm from Kokshetau. I'm a student on fourth year in University of Abay Mirzahmetov, and I work in a small company which sells flax and wheat and stuff like this.
So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the week. It's Monday. I know I look like a mess. It's because I'm working. It's Women's Day. It's a holiday, but I didn't do my grading. So I'm doing my grading today. So I don't have time to go to the store to cook anything. So it's a bit of a challenge to find vegetarian Kazakh food delivered. So let's take our liberties here, okay? But it's a cuisine that is eaten frequently in Kazakhstan and other post-Soviet countries, and you'll see another return of Lepim Ivarim this week. Now they have not sponsored me. So I've got pelmeni again. Cut me some slack, please. So I've gotten something that I thought, oh, there's a little bit of an ingredient that is kind of like in Soviet countries. I'm gonna say this wrong, but I got the Molody Zelyony, which it's green pelmeni, and inside is mascarpone cheese, tvorog, and spinach. So tvorog is often eaten as a breakfast food, not by Kazakhs per se, but many people in Kazakhstan do have tvorog for breakfast. It's kind of like a Russian breakfast as well. I think cottage cheese, but dry. Oh, in English it's called quark, I think. And I also got something that's not very Kazakh. And I didn't know they give it to you in a glass. Coleslaw. It's just cabbage, carrots, mayonnaise. This is me making generalizations from being here for 3 years, but these type of mayonnaise-based salads are very common in like Russian or post-Soviet cuisine. I'm also gonna eat some chocolate. I finally finished working, I had a shower, and from lunch, my stomach was really full for a long time. So I was like, oh, I'll just, eat something light for dinner, something that'll help my stomach, like a rice porridge. And I was like, well, let me make risovaya kasha. I didn't have any milk, regular dairy milk, so I put in what was remaining of my soy milk and some coconut milk. I added raisins, cinnamon, and some, what are those things called? Bananas.
I asked my mom. She knows everything about me. And she said that actually I stopped eating meat in summer of 2019. And she remembered this because she got upset when I refused to eat her patties with macaroni. I completely forgot that. So I started from summer 2019. It wasn't like I stopped it at 100%. I kept struggling with my desire to eat meat.
it's lunchtime, but I honestly don't have time to make lunch, so I'm gonna order food again. I do not normally order food. This is the most I've ordered food to be delivered in my whole life, basically. I never order food. I will definitely make a Central Asian dish for dinner. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna order lentil soup, grilled vegetables, and mashed potatoes. Now, chechevichnyi soup or lentil soup is not uncommon in Central Asia, especially in Kazakhstan, and so are mashed potatoes. So if you go to a stolovaya or some type of ashana or even like a school cafeteria, they serve lentil soup, puree lentil soup very often, and also mashed potatoes. Any type of potato really is very common here. Please accept my apologies here. I'm trying. I forgot to say that this week the fruit of choice is gonna be apples, because apples and Kazakhstan go hand in hand. I'm coming back from the store because I had to go at night. I've been so busy today, but finally I've got all the supplies I need, hopefully, for this week of Central Asian / Kazakh cooking. But I'm hungry, so I picked up something that you can find at a lot of bazaars in Kazakhstan. Corn! So it's just boiled corn, and they gave me a full cob. I wanted the little pieces. I asked for kishkine, but it seems I only had this one left. If you get the little pieces, sometimes they'll put mayonnaise, like flavored mayonnaise. That stuff's good. But if you get a full one, they just put with salt. So I'm gonna have that on the way back to my house, and then I'll cook dinner. We have our first Central Asian dish, which is vegetarian plov and achuchuk. So I think achuchuk is called different things in different places, but it's basically just onion and tomato salad. I added salt, pepper, olive oil, a little bit of red pepper, and a lemon. And this is just the recipe that I got from my friend's family, a Kazakh family. So I'm just copying that, and achuchuk is very commonly made to accompany plov. This plov is very yellow, and I think it's because I used a ready-made set of ingredients. Now, I did include zira as well: rice, chickpeas, raisins, carrots, onion, garlic, the seasoning, and a few apricots. Now, I've actually never had apricots in a plov before. I think that's more of like an Uzbek type of plov. I could be not stating that correctly here. It smells exactly like regular plov, regular pulao. Tastes like plov.
I picked up yoga in 2019, and I saw this video about yoga, how to eat properly in yoga way. And it said that in yoga there is the food, all the food. Well, it's not just the food, it's all the things you consume is divided to 3 categories. The first is negative, like you don't have to eat it in any case. And meat is in this category. Since that time, I realized that I have to stop eating meat at all. I think it's from this period, I count my vegetarian diet.
Good morning. It's Wednesday morning, and according to my Instagram followers who are from Kazakhstan, you can have bread and butter for breakfast. So I imagine it's usually not toast and not as toasted as I have it. And also, a few people said like tea. You must have tea. So I have tea with milk. And not all Kazakhs or Central Asian people have tea with milk. It was just one of the suggestions. So not necessary to have tea with milk. You can have it without milk. I made lagman. Now this is an attempt at lagman. I'm not saying it's authentic 100% because it's I've never made it before and I don't know how to make it. This is my first time. So let me tell you the ingredients. Soy curls, a little bit of that sausage that I had from last week, bell pepper, onions, cabbage, eggplant, and carrots, garlic, and of course some oil and tomato paste. Lagman is usually made with these really thick handmade noodles, but I don't know how to make those. at all. So what I did is I found some udon noodles, which are very thick and chewy, similar to lagman, and that's what I'm gonna be eating as the noodle portion. Not bad. I'm not gonna talk very long. It's just plov, and tomato achuchuk again. See you tomorrow. Oh, I might have an apple after this, by the way.
Do you know in psychology they have five stages of acceptance? Acceptance, yes. Like they have like not five, but some stages of acceptance. At first they they're surprised, and it's weird for them to hear that, especially from Kazakh, I think. Then they start argue with you, like, what? You got sick. You will not have enough nutrition. One man with whom I worked, he said, "What about the flavor?" And after that, they start to to bargain with you, like, you need to eat meat, or you need to eat, at least you must eat chicken meat or fish or something like that. And most of them in the end they just accept this, I think.
All right, here we have today's breakfast. My viewers said they eat eggs sometimes, so I have some spinach left over. I know that's not like what they said was in the eggs, but fried eggs, or I made scrambled eggs. And some people said they had tomatoes with their eggs, like in their eggs, but I forgot to put the tomatoes in, as I also forgot to put the spinach in. So I'm just having a little side salad like I usually do for dinner. Some people said they eat leftovers for breakfast, so boom, this could be a leftover. And of course, my tea. It's Thursday lunch, which means I'm still having lagman again. And it's just what I already made with the same udon noodles. And I think it's gonna be better because, I don't know, this meat, the soy curls are always better the second day. It's around 3 p.m. and I'm hungry again, so I'm gonna have a little snack. I'm not like, whenever I mention I'm hungry, I'm not actually like super starved. It's just I feel like I want a snack. So I have my sunflowers, my classic snack. All right, so I've made meatless beshbarmak, meatless yetpamak, yetsiz yetpamak. It is the national dish of Kazakhstan. Now, I mean no insult by making this dish vegetarian. Beshbarmak with meat is better. And if you eat meat, you should try yetpamak, beshbarmak. Now, usually it's a dish with some flat noodles at the bottom, then different types of meat or one type of meat, and then you can also have carrots and potatoes with it, and then on top you have onions, sliced onions. Now for the meat, what did I use? I used soy curls and then these soy chunks, and I also used another half of that sausage. I also did soak the soy curls and the soy bits in Worcestershire sauce that was vegetarian and soy sauce together. Honestly, I think the flavor is not gonna be quite the same because the flavor is the meat. Having no meat is a little bit difficult. I added a bit of oil in because there was like no oil basically, just a sunflower oil. And you also have the liquid, the sorpa that you drink from the side. So let me try this first. Okay, it tastes like a chicken broth, to be honest. Oh, it tastes like chicken broth. Now, I would say beshbarmak usually does not have a chicken flavor. I like it. So I just had a soy curl chunk, but this is a piece of that fake meat. So let's try a piece of the fake meat. Oh my gosh. This is good. What the heck? Also, I have a little bit of tomato achuchuk. Not that it goes with it normally. I just need to eat these tomatoes.
The most important challenge is yourself. It's like when you have a habit of eating meat for 29 years. I'm 29, almost 30 years. It's not easy to drop it at one moment, and Yes, it was the main challenge. Like every time I see meat, when someone cooks meat or eats meat, I it's like something in me wants it. Next challenge is, I think, fruit and vegetables are expensive, especially in winter. It's easy in summer when they're cheap, and in winter it's like I spent. Well, I thought I spent much on fruit and vegetables, but in the countryside, I think people eat more meat because they have cattle and so on. They have to eat meat, especially in northern region. People don't grow vegetables and fruit, especially fruit. I think it's more easier in the south.
All right, it's Friday morning. I tried to make bread last night to have bread and butter this morning because that's what a lot of people said that they have for breakfast here in Kazakhstan, but the bread completely failed. So I'm here with a little bit of cream of wheat again and plum jam or jelly in there to make it sweeter, and that's what I'm gonna have for breakfast. Friday lunch, lagman. All right, so I've made fake beshbarmak for my friends, and I'm excited to eat it. I'm excited to see what they say. Are you guys ready?
Yay! Well, it does not taste like beshbarmak, it's different. And I like the fact that it's not very fatty, because in beshbarmak you can see that it's a little bit rich in oils, and but this one it's quite light.
Well, obviously the meat was different, but I quite like that. I just didn't like those boiled carrots. I'm just not a fan of boiled carrots, but the potatoes and the pasta were really good, and the sausage and well, the fake meat.
So like surpa was different, but the rest was quite good, and I think that it's a good start for your beshbarmak cooking experience.
I go to ordinary shops like Dukens, and I have, well, we have plenty of fruit shops, green groceries. I think I've realized that I spend more money in the green stores than in the ordinary Dukens shops.
Good morning, it's Saturday, and I want to say thank you to my friends who came to eat my beshbarmak. And I might be incorrect about this, but sometimes the day after you have beshbarmak for breakfast, you have something called narun. I might be incorrect about that name as well, but it's basically the beshbarmak put all into one into the broth again, and you add sour cream. I actually don't have any of the noodles. We ate all of the noodles, but I have the other parts left over, so I'm gonna eat that for breakfast / lunch today. And then also I have some salad left over. It's almost 10 p.m. and I usually don't like eating this late, not because of certain timing, it's just I like to eat earlier. But I've been so busy, so I'm just having plov again from the beginning of the week, but I just have too many cucumbers and tomatoes because I bought way more than I expected for my friends to eat last night. So I'm sorry this is maybe boring because I'm just eating the same thing over and over again. Still so good though.
When I started all these things with vegetarian, like I said, being vegetarian wasn't the main goal for me. It was like the important part of the yoga and meditation process. The main message I want to like say to people is to be more conscious about their everyday meal. But if someone tries being vegetarian, they will have that time to realize that it's not that bad.
All right, it's Sunday morning, and I'm sure you guys are tired of seeing this. I have a cucumber and tomato salad because I have so many cucumbers and tomatoes, okay? And also I have some eggs with a little bit of green stuff on top. For Sunday's dinner, I had half of this vegetarian pizza with my friend, and then I went home and had plov. Wow. And so I've ended the week of Central Asian vegetarian food. Now, there were some things that I wanted to make, but I wasn't able to, and let me go ahead and list them. So I wanted to make samsa with kapusta or cabbage on the inside. Samsa is like a pastry with a meat inside, meat and onions usually, but I wanted to make it with cabbage and a little bit of chickpeas, but I wasn't able to. Unfortunately, I ran out of time and I didn't have enough time to make the dough, make the inside, bake it, and all of that stuff. So please forgive me, I wanted to, but I wasn't able to. I also wanted to make a carrot salad that is normally called koreyski salad, Korean salad, here in Kazakhstan at least. There is a big diaspora population of Koreans who came here in the Soviet Union back when the Soviet Union was moving people around, and so there is some Korean food that's been mixed with Central Asian diets, and I wanted to make this Korean salad of I guess spiced carrots, you could say. But once again, I ran out of time. I was limited in the number of dishes that I could make just because I'm not gonna make a new dish every day. There's only one person eating it, so that would be a lot of food waste. If you have any Central Asian dishes that you have vegetarianized or veganized, or just any Central Asian dishes that you prefer, definitely talk about those in the comments. I would love to hear what you normally eat. Next week, I'll be doing a vegan episode where I only eat vegan food for a week in Kazakhstan, perhaps the most challenging week of the whole 4 weeks. So I hope you join me for the next week's video. But for now, this is the end. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.